Hamlet, a set design by Amina Rackett. First, I created a short director's vision that captures the ideas that I considered while designing the set. It reads, Hamlet is a play about corruption, death, love, and revenge. The production will focus on these themes and hint at the debate of fate versus free will. The set design will be fairly minimalistic to emphasize the importance of the dialogue and action of the characters. Themes of nature found within the set will tie into the theme of death. The stage will be built for a thrust, and there will be 3 levels: the grass area, the main floor, and the balcony. A large tree will be center stage to represent life and death. The tone of the play will be supported by the actors' use of the set and the imagery within the play. The words tell the story more than anything, and the set design should enhance the experience of the words. Here's the design. I'll go into more detail about why I made each choice, but right now I'll just give a small description of the entire thing. The set will be made to look like stone with pillars on each side, and those pillars will be wrapped in vines and will be cracked throughout. And there will be stairs separating each level. The upper balcony will wrap around the large tree that's center stage to give actors room to walk around. The set of stairs connecting the balcony to the main level will also be made of stone, and they'll curve from the front of the stage to the sides of the balcony. And at the base of the tree, underneath the shadow of the balcony, there'll be a flower garden and removable seats on each side of the stage to be utilized throughout the show. And there'll also be a removable tombstone in the center of the grass area that's not pictured in the sketch. The backdrop is going to be black to give the stairs the impression that it's floating, and to the left and right of the sketch are a color palette and a texture palette to give a sense of the colors and textures that I would use within the set. Here's a top and a side view sketch with very wonderfully drawn stairs, noting the tombstone that's in the center. Death is a significant element to this play. The first death that's known to the audience is King Hamlet's, which is an important event that happens before the play even starts, and making note of his death shows his impact on the world of the play and the characters. And the tombstone could also represent the many other characters that meet their end throughout the play. And at the bottom I inserted a quote given by Hamlet in Act 3, Scene 1. It says, "Death, the undiscovered country from whose bourne no traveler returns." And the pillars, the use of stone as a main texture in the set is symbolic for human existence and man-made structures. The stone pillars appear to hold up the stage on each side, which is the world in which the play exists. The pillars being cracked represents the corruption and betrayal within the story. And by the end of the play, death of all characters is a main resolution that returns the play to stasis, and the pillars being covered in vines is a representation of nature and death taking over and solving man-made issues. And then there's a quote about corruption: "Something is rotten in the state of Denmark." And the large tree that's in the center of the stage is going to be an oak tree that represents the theme of life and death within the play, and the idea that nature is a powerful force that will exist long after the death of man. And oak trees are also symbolic for strength, morale, and wisdom, which are traits that Hamlet possesses at some point throughout the play as he battles through his choices. And Shakespeare uses nature and garden imagery throughout his play to refer to various forms of corruption. For example, in Hamlet's first soliloquy, he compares the world to an unweeded garden, which it means a place full of evil and dishonesty. And then a quote that I think represents how important nature is to this play. It says, "Thou know'st 'tis common, all that lives must die, passing through nature to eternity." And here's some examples of nature imagery that I found within the script. It includes the unweeded garden comparison that Hamlet makes in Act 1. And it also includes King Hamlet telling Hamlet that he was murdered in an orchard. And then one that I'm going to read is in the center of the right side. It says, "There's rosemary, that's for remembrance. Pray you love remember. And there's pansies, that's for thoughts. There's fennel for you and columbines. There's rue for you and here's some for me. We may call it herb of grace, O Sundays. You must wear your rue with a difference. There's a daisy. I would give you some violets, but they withered all when my father died." And that is a quote from Ophelia in Act 4, when it appears to the audience that she's kind of crazy. And that is what I base the flower garden off of, because I think Hamlet and Ophelia's relationship is an important part of the play, and Ophelia's actions are just as important as Hamlet's. Before her death, she hands out flowers, each with potential symbolic meanings. Pansies to Laertes, rosemary to Hamlet, columbines to Claudius, and rue to Gertrude and herself. And she also mentions not having any violets to give because they died with her father. And those flowers that she hands out are going to be the flowers that are contained within the flower garden, and they're going to represent the life of each character. And to summarize, the set design was inspired by Shakespeare's use of the fate versus free will debate within his plays, and the power of nature and death versus the power human action has over the overall plot. And I used his use of imagery of comparing life to nature and gardens throughout the play to create my nature design with natural and neutral color tones and textures, and utilize the use of symbolism that could foreshadow or hint at specific themes. And here's the set design one more time after considering the meanings that I put behind each of the objects. Thank you.